Hello, this is Big John, brought to you by FinFlam.com, and this is FinFlam Unfiltered. August 4th is primary election day in Missouri, and there's more on the ballot than just picking candidates. Voters are deciding four constitutional amendments that will shape taxes, local government, and the Kansas City area, citizen power, and state finances for years to come. Primary turnout is usually low, so your vote carries extra weight. These are changes to the Missouri Constitution that'll be hard to undo later. Let's break them down in plain English. What each one does, the pros, the cons, and why it matters. I'll also hit the key local Kansas City and Jackson County angles. Amendment 1 Parks, Soil, Water, Sales Tax Renewal. The simplest breakdown is this renews the existing small 0.1% sales/use tax for another 10 years. Money goes to state parks, keeping admission free or low cost, historic sites, and soil/water conservation. Voters get to decide on it again in 10 years. No new tax increase, just keeps the current one going. Brings in about $140 million a year. So the pros are, it keeps our parks accessible and funds conservation that protects Missouri's natural resources and tourism economy. This one has passed with strong support before, popular across the state. Rural and urban folks enjoy the outdoors. Cons, it's a still sales tax that hits every purchase. Some say the state should find other funding instead of automatically renewing taxes. Critics argue it locks in spending without enough flexibility. Well, why does it matter? Because parks and conservation affect quality of life and can either uphold Missouri's image or deteriorate it. A no vote would cut dedicated funding after the current period ends. Amendment 2 Elected county assessor in charter counties. This is a big one for Jackson County/Kansas City. It requires all charter counties, including Jackson County, home to Kansas City and Independence, to elect their county assessor instead of possibly appointing one. Also requires assessors to meet state training standards. So the pros of that is there's more accountability. Voters directly choose who sets property values that determine your taxes. It standardizes rules and adds training for fairness. It brings more transparency to a key local tax office. The cons are it adds election cost and could make the position more political. Some charter counties like the current flexibility for efficiency. Might not change much in practice, but creates new rules. This directly affects Jackson County/Kansas City and Independence area property tax assessments. If you own a home here, the assessor's office matters for your bill. Amendment 4 Harder rules for citizen-initiated constitutional amendments. Changes how citizen-led ballot initiatives amend the Constitution. Instead of just statewide majority, it would require a majority in each congressional district. Also makes the full text available with ballots and may add rules on fraud or foreign money. So the pros are, it prevents big cities like St. Louis or Kansas City from overriding rural Missouri. It forces broader consensus and makes it tougher for out-of-state interests to push changes through petitions. Now the cons are, it makes it much harder for regular voters to pass initiatives. One rural district could kill a popular statewide idea. Critics call it a politician power grab that weakens direct democracy and protects the status quo in Jefferson City. This is about voter power versus legislative control. If you like citizen initiatives or worry about them, this one is huge. Amendment 5 Phasing out state income tax plus sales tax limits. Gradually reduces or eliminates the state individual income tax based on revenue growth triggers, reduces other local taxes when sales taxes expand, protects school funding, and limits future income taxes or sales tax expansions unless they offset income tax cuts. So the pros are tax relief for working families and individuals could make Missouri more competitive economically. Revenue-based triggers aim for responsible cuts. So the cons, big potential hit to state revenue, which could pressure budgets, services, or shift burdens to sales/property taxes. That's something we should get rid of too, is property tax and real estate tax. Long-term effects on schools and infrastructures are debated, even with protections. Critics say it's risky fiscal policy. Why it matters. Taxes affect every Missourian. This could reshape how the state pays for government for decades. Why you should vote August 4th. These aren't regular laws. These are constitutional amendments. Low primary turnout means motivated voters decide big issues. They touch your wallet, local control, and your power as a citizen. Plus, primaries decide nominees for Congress and state legislatures who will represent the KC metro area in Jefferson City and D.C. Amendment 2 is a standout local issue. It directly changes how Jackson County handles assessor elections and training. Primaries for U.S. House districts covering KC and Missouri State Senate House seats in the metro. Check your exact ballot for candidates. Possible school district propositions or other local tax/bond issues. Broader KC concerns like redistricting, taxes, and development often tie back to these state-level fights. That's the full Missouri August ballot breakdown. Get informed, vote, and make your voice heard, especially on low turnout days like this. Head to finflam.com for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you voting, yes or no, on these issues? Thanks for listening. Stay sharp, question everything, and you'll hear me soon.